What's up, everybody? Logan Kidder here. Today I just want to take a little time to show you what I do with my bow and I guess my arrows, as well as broadheads and a couple other things. Since it's hunting season, and a couple of people, Tim from Ridge Life, Kevin, you and James have been making some progress during the hunting season, and I myself was lucky enough. So I'd just like to kind of share a little bit of a maintenance routine, I guess, on some of my archery equipment. So, as you can see here, these are my Rage broadheads. Now, I'm shooting a Rage chisel tip extreme, which means they're the longer blades that Rage allows on some of their broadheads. And instead of being the plain razor blade tip that Rage normally gives you, it's hard to focus in on because they're so small. It is a hardened steel tip that is specifically made for making it easier to get through some bone, just in case your shot placement isn't exactly where you want. Problem being with these broadheads, as you can see, the blades, they don't hold up very well. So I went ahead and ordered some replacement parts off of Amazon. Real easy to get. They're compatible with a different couple of types of broadheads. We won't be needing the razor tips to replace. We will be using the shock collars and the blades and probably a couple of the screws because I'm sure they're not going to come out the easiest. But I'll show you guys how to change them. So as you can see, I've already got this one taken apart. It's easy as just pulling the screw out of the center, pulling those old blades out. You're going to need a little bitty Allen wrench. Oh, I can't remember the size. If I do remember, I'll drop it in the comment section later. But get yourself an Allen wrench. You'll have to clean everything out of those holes to get it to work, but lefty loosey. Out the screw comes, set it aside, and these blades here just pull right out. Nothing too complicated. So now that I've opened my package of new blades, I see they send you the Allen wrench you need to change them out. We won't be needing that because we've got our own. So to change the blade, that large oval hole up at the top, you're going to put one in from one side, we have another one from another side. And I know it should be obvious, but make sure your cutting edge is facing forward. You're going to hold them in place like that. Take your screw on the end of your wrench here. Oh, I got her upside down. Put it in. Make sure you're started, not cross-threading. And righty-tighty. You tighten her back down. That's about as tight as it's going to get. And that is how simple it is to change the blades in your Rage broadheads. Keep them sharp and make sure for a clean, effective dispatch. So I'm only doing 2 broadheads today because the third one I haven't been lucky enough to shoot yet. These shock collars here are an easy install. You just slide them on the bottom and the blades basically find their way to hanging in there. Now they won't stay on until you tighten the arrow against the broadhead, which will hold the shock collar in place, therefore holding your blades in place. Once you shoot, it allows them to deploy. The next thing that I'm going to show you guys is I personally prefer to shoot Luminox. Now, these things can be your best friend and they can be your worst enemy. They're a battery operated light up knock to make it easier for finding your arrow in the dark, in the weeds, in the leaves, if you miss, if you don't miss, whatever. They're nice. I do recommend them. I'm not even sure what brand these are. A lot of different people make them, but the batteries die. It's very important to keep up on having a couple extra ones around so you can change them out as the batteries die and have fresh ones in, because if they're just not lighting up, they're not doing their job, so why have them? So changing out a Luminox is simple. This one is good, and you can tell it's good by just pushing on that little button in there and it turns on. Now to shut them off, you slide something small in there and you simply push that red collar that you can see inside the knock up. It shuts your light off. So this one's good. But this one here, as you can see, the button has been depressed and nothing happens. So this one's bad, battery's dead. Simple fix, you pull it out, bad one, gone. You take a new one, good battery, slide your knock collar over it, you slide it down in your arrow. Now, I like to keep mine lined up so when they're on the string, my cock vane, or the opposite colored vane of the other two, is straight up and down. Do a simple check, push the button down, yep, lights up. All good. Moving on. So guys, this is something that not a lot of people do, but I personally find it very important. I've got my bow here on the stand, and I've got a little container, looks like chapstick. I don't know if you can make it out, but this is a Boning Archery brand stick of string wax. Very important. Pull the cap off, roll the wax out. Mine does not have very much left. But I like to wax my string fairly often because, as you can see, you get fraying on the little pieces, the little strands of the string. And it's very important with bows and crossbows to keep up on waxing the string, to keep that fraying down, and to keep water from penetrating into your string and deteriorating it. So you simply take your stick, you rub your wax on the string with the stick, and make sure you get everywhere that you can see the strands and the braids. Not so much on the serving where it's thread braided around your string. That seems to be pretty weatherproof. After that, I like to take my 2 fingers and just rub the wax into the string. Once you heat it up with a little friction from your fingers, it really helps the wax set in and get down inside those strands of your string, and I think personally it makes it last a little bit longer. Now you always want to check your string for any nicks in the string, any bad fraying, spots where it looks like it's been, cut by a stick or something sharp, because the last thing you want to happen in the woods or on target practice is for your string to break and your bow to blow up. It can cause serious issues. The next thing, pretty self-explanatory. Get yourself a can of lube. BB Blaster is my choice. I prefer the ones with the flip-up straw so you can nice and easy put your straw on instead of fighting with poking it into the tip of the can. Now, I'm going to go around my bow, and on my cams, all these little axle pins on the top and bottom, and all these little adjustment screws and things like that, areas where there's a lot of movement, I'm just going to lube it up real quick. You don't need a lot. Be very, very liberal with this stuff. If you get oil all over your bow, not only are the deer going to smell it and blow and run off, but your bow's going to be slippery and it just doesn't end well. So you're just going to go through real quick, give it a touch here, give it a touch here, a little bit on the rest where it swivels. And once you're finished up hitting all your major points, which I'm not, but I won't keep you, go back with a paper towel and just wipe up the excess. Everything that's running all over, even though you tried to do it without getting it everywhere, it's going to be all over the place. Wipe off your excess oil. So that's just my little maintenance routine for my bow and my arrows and broadheads. And I find it keeps me pretty well sharp and ready to hunt in the woods, and you don't run into as many issues. It's better to make sure you stay on top of things instead of leaving some things a surprise. So thanks for stopping by, guys. If you like the video, like it and subscribe. Thank you.